And we're live. All right, everyone. Tonight's Tuesday Tent Talk. I got Chris and Evie, who were patrons, are still patrons of mine, and they got kind of a crazy story. I think we're going to start with that. They were Patreon patrons, then they were watching a live, and there was this guy named Tim who came on just like an hour before I asked for someone to come on. He's like, "I'll do it," and he goes by the event guy, and he came on and he said that he had a bunch of free bounce houses that he was just going to get rid of. So you guys can pick it up from there.
Got it. I'll start it. Tim Ward, big shout out to him. Lots of love in Ontario, California. It sounded crazy when we heard him at the end of the show say, "Hey, we have a bunch of bounce houses." I was expecting just kind of like very little play centers, but we're talking about rock climbing walls, 26 feet tall, mega slides. You know, some of them are the size of a soccer field. So we went out there, met him, and spent 4 days learning the industry, getting a lot of inside tips. And then the next thing you know, we have a 15-foot box truck?
Yep.
And I'll let him tell you the story on how they got here. But we had a 15-foot trailer, 16-foot box truck packed to the roof. And then what happened next?
Yeah, so we were not even thinking of driving back. So we both booked a flight for there and back. And thinking the inventory whenever we got it was going to be so much more expensive to ship it. So he kind of offered, "Well, I'll sell you my box truck." And we had to think about it, and we said yes. And then it was like, "Well, you can have the dual, trailer that's enclosed and fill up to the rim and take it." So we did. We filled it up and we bought the truck. And next thing you know, it's we're trying to leave, and it's a weekend, and so he gives us a bill of sale, the title, and unfortunately the lights were not working on the truck. So we had to go to Harbor Freight, get those ones that stick on, and hot wire the truck literally from battery to the fuse that we popped out to make just the running lights and the brake lights work. And so
he had to sleep on the truck. He's not very happy about that.
The truck, but I ended up driving. And I just forgot that we didn't even have tags on anything. We had insurance, we had the bill of sale, and we had the title, but we didn't have tags. And so I'm going from LA to North Carolina, so coast to coast. I didn't get put over once. Not at all.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I mean, I had to sleep in the truck because they wouldn't let me check in on my hotel. But it is what
he pulled his back in the meantime. But anyway, we're here.
Right. So you guys went out there to take up his offer of free bounce houses that he was trying to get rid of. He didn't want to pay to dispose of them. Obviously, he didn't want to give them away to local people. So you guys went out there. Then you got a box truck, a trailer. You also got staging, and like
lights and a very awesome sound system. So
no, you guys did pay for this, or he said to you, what did he say to you?
Yeah, he said, "Hey, you know what, you guys, make money. When you make money, pay me back." We kind of wrote a little contract, and I mean, there's still kind people left in the world, man. He kind of set us up for success. And initially we were just an event rental company that was out there getting started, setting up our website, and the next thing you know, we come back and we're like an event production company as well.
Right. So you guys
interactives and all of that.
So we got the story of your big, crazy, basically winning the lottery from this guy.
Yeah.
But you were just getting into an event rental thing, and you haven't even put up one tent yet, right?
We have not.
No, so you're just starting this year. So your first initial thing was you're just investing and buying all the things you need. You were going to auctions and gathering stuff up, getting your website. So let's bring it back now. You guys are getting into this business. Let's hear that story.
The story about getting into the business?
Yeah, how you wanted it to, what made you do this, and all the steps you were previously taking before getting all these bounce houses and all this crazy shit.
So for me, I played college soccer down here at Cape Fear Community College, and then I went to UNCW, and then I ended up working as a field director for one of the biggest soccer clubs in the club in here. And so I was managing the fields, I was managing inventory, I was doing everything that I'm gonna do for this company. And then I've known Chris, we played soccer together. And Chris actually manages events at UNCW, right? He does events down there. So we honestly just got tired of working our butt off for. I get paid by the hour, so it was, one of those things where I was getting tired of just working and grinding and not seeing much more result. Not going from where I was going to be there for a while. So we just sat down with Chris and talked. We were like, look, we've done this. I know how to manage, people and inventory and fields and rentals. And his expertise were, my non-expertise, which is like communication with people online and building websites and stuff like that, or knowing somebody that builds it. And so we just kind of literally just took the risk and be like, hey, let's just do it. I mean, there's no draw from it. So,
right. So what was your initial plan?
So the initial plan, honestly, working at a radio station as a DJ for 4 years, 11 years at the university doing events, I was like, man, I'm really tired of paying these tent guys. No disrespect to the tent guys, because I'm looking at I'm paying them and I'm like, they're making like 10 times the money that I'm making. So the plan was, there's only 2 people in this city, which we're don't know them yet, but a lot of respect to them. We promise we won't saturate the market or lower our prices, but there's only 2. So we said, maybe there's a big pie and we can maybe have a slice. So we did a lot of market research, and our plan was to kind of get our way into the market with tables, tents, chairs, dance floors, and maybe some lighting. So that was our initial plan. We priced everything out. We did the research, a lot of that through you, just trying to figure out what were our best tents that were most marketable. We came up with a budget, which was really our life savings. We jumped in with 2 feet. And we took a lot of entrepreneur get ready classes, lots of finance classes and courses through the community college. I come from an entrepreneur family myself, and I've, always kind of had a lot of influence on that realm. And this guy works really hard at everything he does. So we just figured, we had a good combination as far as talent.
Right. Yeah. And then you guys, were sourcing where you're going to buy things, and you guys found auctions, right? And you went to those auctions and picked up a lot of stuff for relatively inexpensively.
Yeah, correct. And we met a lot of interesting people along the way. So when we were picking stuff up, sometimes I think our first chairs that we picked up after it was the dance floor and then the chairs. But every time we went to pick up the stuff, it was somebody that's been in the industry for a while. And we would always ask us, what would you do starting and what would you not do? And they would always, there was one point where we went to Georgia and we went to pick up the stuff, and we ended up talking with the guy for like 6 hours.
Shout out to Ray's Tents over there, because really 30 years worth of experience in 6 hours. I mean, and then we ended up going for chairs, and we ended up bringing back a 30 by 60 tent.
Right.
He's not pissed off because we paid $3,000 for 50 chairs and a 30 by 60 tent that was only used 5 times.
Right. So brand new 30 by 60.
Brand new.
Nice.
$3,000. But we spent and invested the 6 hours of our time learning, asking questions, and just kind of,
So this is a wild ride right from the beginning. Like, you're meeting all these people, you're getting all these deals, you're picking up free bounce houses, buying box trucks and stages and stuff on, from a really cool guy who's giving you a really good deal on it. It's crazy. And you guys haven't even have you guys made a penny yet? Have you we have.
We've had a couple of sales already, just renting lighting, and we have a couple of events on the books, a couple of deposits, but not quite. I mean, honestly, we haven't launched. We've been kind of softly getting things on our social media. Our website is not there, and our phones are blowing up already. So this guy has deep networks in the community because he's like a coach, a mentor, been an athlete for a while. And I worked in the broadcasting radio world and for a big university. So, we combine ourselves in our network. People already kind of know.
Right.
So we're just kind of we want to keep our jobs. Right, because we, but at the same time, you could already see the demand there.
Eventually,
leap of faith in a way.
Yeah. So you guys are going to keep your jobs for the foreseeable future?
Foreseeable future for me, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, it's as long. I mean, once a business starts making money and it can kind of hopefully just pay for the bills, I mean, I'll be happy to make that transition to be a full-time just for the company. But until that happens, I think I have to keep my job, and I think he has to.
I have to keep my job. I love my job. I probably have a couple of people listening, so I'm not going anywhere. We have, what's really interesting is that in our lifetime, we've mentored a lot of students, and now those students are young men and women. And we just kind of had a call out this weekend for like, hey, we just want to sort through our inventory. We had a squad at our house just lined up with qualified folks who will eventually work for us. So it's been really great to see them supporting us, right? Like the full circle.
That's awesome. So yeah, we had a question. They want to know how old you are. I asked earlier because I said you guys look like 25, 26.
I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm younger than him. I'm 29.
No, he's 1 year older than me.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna blow up my spot like that to the YouTube.
That's all right. Keep your jobs for a few years, obviously.
Yeah.
See how you like it. How long have you been in this since you dove in? Oh yeah. So all right, when was your first initial like, okay, we're starting this?
Man, Evie and I went through so many business models. It's insane, but it's been, I would say 4 months. I don't know what you would.
Since then?
Yeah, like since we said we're doing this, let's move.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, 4 or 5
but
months.
then again, like we have a lot of experience in the event industry, just at a different capacity. Like I've been a promoter for over a decade.
Right.
My mom worked in tourism for Jamaica, for Trinidad and Tobago. Like I've always been involved in events one way or another. And he, as the facilities director, and
or soccer events,
we've put together events. It's just never from
for ourselves,
a business owner.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So you can have their perspective. You kind of know what questions they're going to ask already. You're not jumping in cold feet and being like blown away by questions. You're going to kind of know what's coming at you.
Yes and no, because I've had my cold feet. I think our second ride back from Georgia, I was telling this guy, I was like, dude, we're spending a lot of money. Like, I was like, what happens if this doesn't work? He's like, so he had to like help me not jump off the cliff. It's like, dude, it's like we're not spending a lot of money. We can sell everything that we just bought if worst case scenario comes to it. So
yeah, well, honestly, this is one of the few businesses, as long as you put in the work, don't underprice yourselves, which you just said you're not going to underprice from your competitors because you still want them your friends. You can be successful, and you guys are saying your phone's already off the hook and you don't even have a website yet.
Yeah.
So like, as long as you put in the work, this is like one of the few business. Well, I mean, all businesses. No, if you own a store and put in the work, people just might not show up. People are having events. Doesn't even matter that COVID's happening. There's still events happening. I'm booked up on weddings basically for the whole summer. So people are still doing things. We got an interesting question. Have you guys thought about this yet? Like, what software are you guys using to start off?
It's a really fancy software. It's called Excel.
Okay.
It's free, but we are looking into honestly this event rental community where we're talking offline, and it's like it's so awesome how you get so many nuggets of information. So we're looking into potentially, once we start making some money, buying a CRM software that does a lot of the automation with the customer relationships for you, and follow-ups and invoicing and all of that.
Right, because you're both going to be working normal jobs, so it'll be easy. It'll be helpful to just like hit a button and send off a change, or have people sign a contract and pay and stuff like that. So it will be helpful, especially now that you got all these bounce houses and stuff, and you don't want to overbook and lose control of everything.
Yeah, and also some of these are bounce houses. Some of these are slides that are the size of a soccer field. Some of these are interactives, lots of sports, lots of basketball, baseball, wiffle ball, football, all these different kind of sporting inventory. And then we have our more adult kind of
Pirate
like
ship.
competitive. Yeah, we have a pirate ship that's like a water slide and a rock climbing wall at the same time. I mean, we have some pieces that are not unique to the area. More than that, I mean, they're one of a kind.
Right.
They're from the East Coast, and no one has really seen them here.
Right. So you have a lot of adult entertainment.
No, not adult entertainment. No, we're not in that industry. We are in the interactive social industry.
Right. That's an inside joke of before. He said you gotta stop saying adult entertainment stuff.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Try to say what are you trying to say? Adult
Interactive, inflatables. That also sounds wrong, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, adult inflatables. Hey Tinkai, are you drinking a beer? Yes, I only drink on Tuesdays. Last Tuesday I was on with someone before and I had too many beers. By the time I got on my own live thing, I was a little too drunk and I didn't even pay attention to the comments that were happening. Tonight I only have 2. There's only 2 in my house. I only drink on Tuesdays. But all right, so let's get into, obviously, you guys can't do all this with just the 2 of you. Do you guys have people who are going to be helping set up? Do you have employees set up?
Yes. So from like Chris was saying, we have such a good tight community where the kids, some of the I'm gonna call them kids, but some of the young kids that came and help out were asking us like, well, are y'all gonna need help over the weekends? And we were like, yeah, we will. And they started asking questions, how much are you gonna pay hourly? And so we were like, we'll have that talk whenever, we start renting stuff. But we have already 2 to 3 people, I would say, for like, depending on the volume of bouncers or tents or tables coming out. And he also is going to get somebody to help him with all the paperwork and stuff like that. So,
yeah, which is a question that we have for you guys, because the knowledge community, we want to outsource some of those calls with people who have been in the industry that could also maybe benefit from having a commission sale. If there's a wedding coming along or an event and they know our inventory, how could that work potentially in having a partnership like that?
So I was talking to a guy, Jim from Recipe. He does that. He has some people who they have the program at their house, and when they call, it goes to a central number, but then like gets shot out to whoever's available, whoever's working that day. And they're just working at their house, and they will take the phone call and they'll make the order and all that stuff. And I don't know how he pays them on commission or hourly or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility. You can find people to do that. You just got to give them access to your program. You could have a calling service too, where they take the message and then give it to you, but then that's all back on you. Some of these programs, it doesn't really work for weddings because weddings are so different and people don't know what they need. But sometimes just for your basic backyard bounce stuff, they could order the tent, the tables, the chairs, and the bounce stuff all on the website. And with the program, you can make it so like they can only do that stuff online. The other stuff, like the interactive stuff and the wedding stuff, they actually have to call or send an email. I'm not too familiar with there's ERS and a few other ones where I think I heard people talking about like they have some sort of phone thing. But I think it's better to find someone in your area that wants to make a few extra bucks that you can give access to the program to, and phone call comes in, it goes to them.
Right. Yeah, that's a plan for sure. We can't do it all.
But obviously, you guys are part of the groups. You event rental classifieds, professional tent renters. Are you a member of? So I'm a with the other kid, Justin. Party Rental Knowledge, this guy.
We are.
Okay, you are part of that group, Party Rental Knowledge?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I'm subscribed to his channel. I check out his stuff.
There you go. He was very concerned about that before I got on with you. He's like, are they members of that group? And I'm like, I don't know yet, but I'm going to make them.
We're in the know.
Right. Let's see. Did you
I'm
start?
like his Google Boss set that he has for hats. And I can tell you his last video was about bands from Home Depot going up to. I mean, I keep up.
You keep up, good.
Yeah.
Good. Let's say he had a question. What about storage? I was going to lead into that, and then we.
That's awesome. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh.
Hold on. I'll answer that question visually.
So the first thing Tim told is like, don't spend money renting a warehouse because you're not making money right now.
Storage.
So storage, make it your house, your friends' garage, and honestly, that's what we've done. My house, his garage, and we got lucky because his brother has a big garage, and he talked to him, and he was like, 6 months to a year, you can keep your stuff here. Afterwards, get your stuff out of my house.
Right.
So,
That's what,
no,
so that's what I.
no,
So no overhead. Good. That's why I tell a lot of people too. Like they just want to start off with some tables and chairs. Just get rid of your dining room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may suck taking everything out your front door, but whatever.
I think you're not happy about it, but
Right. My first year, I was in my mother's garage, and then I outgrew that, so I bought one of those green like carport tents from like Harbor Freight or Advanced Auto Parts, and I had all my round. I put 2 poles in, like 10-foot metal poles, hammered them in the ground, and leaned all my tables against them. Then I moved to my house and used my garage and brought that tent there. And yeah, you got a shed, you got a trailer. I mean, your trailer can hold the things that go out like consistently, or you could get another trailer. I know this one dude, he does big weddings and he does graduation parties, and he's got one trailer that his entire wedding stuff is in, and then he's got another trailer where all his graduation party like stuff is in, and doesn't use his garage or anything.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good idea. Someone asked what city. Wilmington, North Carolina, but because we have a beast of a E450 where we could drive all over North Carolina. So if you hit us up, we'll be there.
I just want to answer this one real quick. What are the best booking programs for tents, tables, and chairs? There's a lot of them. In my description, I have a link for GoodShuffle Pro. But then there's also ERS, which is Event Rental Systems. There's Bookable, which I don't know how to spell it. There's Rentmaster. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, but definitely do demos of all of them, and you'll find out which one you want. And if you're going to do a demo of GoodShuffle Pro, I don't really make much money from YouTube, and I don't like talking about it. But if you do a demo from them, I get a few bucks. So click my link and do a demo from them.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right. Here's I don't know, uncomfortable question or not. Are you guys 50-50?
It's 20-80.
No chance. We're 50-50. Yeah, everything's 50-50. There again, we've talked because I've gotten salty about, not real salty, but we've I had to drive all the way from LA all the way here, and he flew back, and I called him and he's like, "Oh, hey, Evie, I'm drinking a beer." I'm like,
yeah. I was gonna say that earlier. He made you drive, and
he's been dealing with, honestly, like hours on the phone with the website stuff. So as partners, you got to realize what he's bringing to the table. So it's he's taking care of the website and talking to people. And for me, it's like, that's not my strong suit. So I let him take care of it. So for me,
and I made a couple of sales already, bro.
Correct. So for me, I gotta, I know my strong suit, and I just gotta pull my weight. So financially, we're really good 50-50. Doesn't matter as long as we're showing receipts, and just we have our Excel, which is the fancy stuff. It's just posting up how much stuff we're selling. We're purchasing, but we actually did get our business account through Bank of America. That was our best option for us. And
we started a Google business to answer that question.
Yeah.
I can't build for the life of me. This man could create and build things. It's pretty, like, we do have different skill sets.
Yeah. So building our farm tables, because I have free wood. My brother lives in the country. They knocked a bunch of trees down, nice, beautiful oak trees. So he's like, we'll just knock over the weekend. We'll just build 4 or 5, and same thing with the bar, the movable bars. We're just gonna make some, So it's like,
right. Oh wait, I got a recommendation on the bar.
Yeah,
because I did talk to you guys about it before. I had a contractor build mine just because like that's not my strong suit. So like just pay someone else to do it. Well, I can do what I can do. But he built these bars, rustic looking bars, like a fruit wood stain. But he built each panel in them so that they can go in and out. So I can make my bar silver, I can make it gold, I can make it copper. If someone wants to have a Yankees party, I can buy some Yankees wallpaper, put it on. So that's the thing to think about when you're building your bar. Make it with like 3 panels in the front, like big square panels and like 3 little panels up top, and then a side panel on each side that can come in and out, so that bar can be customizable to whatever customer you want. Or say someone needs 3 copper bars, you can make you can take out the the silver from one and put copper in. Now you got 3 copper bars. And the way I did the copper bars, I didn't buy real copper. We bought the ceiling lights for in the drop ceiling.
Yeah,
correct.
2x4 or 2x2.
Okay.
And there's different like textures to them. We just bought the one that looks like a little diamond texture on it and spray painted it with a fairly expensive, looks like real copper spray paint, or silver or gold. So it's not real copper, but it looks like copper.
wow.
Yeah, I think you're the second person that said that. I think Cody, was it Cody?
Cody.
Cody, we picked up the dance floor from him. He said exactly the same thing. He actually showed us his. He built his the same way you're explaining yours.
Right. Yeah, it's helped out a lot. I've actually never gotten it out as like a custom one with like the name of the corporation or whatever, but there's been points where it's like, all right, I got 2 copper bars. They need 3. Let's just make 6 more panels in copper, and then we can do it.
Correct. And somebody said, don't chip out on the wheels. Definitely. I call them casters. Is that right? The casters?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't. I told him, I was like, we got to get some nice casters, because there again, all this stuff is lifting. If something has wheels, get some nice wheels so you don't really have to struggle moving them.
Yeah. So I get my chair dollies from Mover Supply Warehouse, and their wheels, they're 4-inch, they're rubber. Basically, sometimes you can push them on hard grass, the chairs. Yeah. So we got those directly from them. Okay. And the bar is light enough. It's not as heavy as a stack of 50 chairs. I mean, you can push it across any surface basically, except for sand.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, someone is saying something for me. Smash the like button currently. Only 1 like. Hey, yeah, guys, I never ask that kind of stuff. Like, I just do this for fun. I'm not a YouTube personality. I just point a camera at my face and, talk some stuff. And I never do all that stuff. But hey, anyone want to hit the like button, hit the like button. Anyone not subscribed, subscribe. And anyone not part of Party Rental Knowledge yet, go take a look at it. And if you're a part of Party Rental Knowledge, watching this on Facebook, go subscribe to my channel. It just helps. Like, the biggest thing I got from all this is like the networking. Like, I met you guys, and once you guys come rich, you're going to take me on vacation, right?
Definitely.
We owe you one, yeah.
Right. Then met, Tim, just basically, and I've learned more from this channel than like the monetary thing, because YouTube doesn't pay that much, especially for like a little channel like this. I've made more money just from learning things. So, and I hope everyone just is learning too.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that when we went up there to meet Tim Ward, not only did he welcome us into his warehouse and give us like, at least 29 hours of his time that's like, valued at a really high rate, teach us all these things in the industry. But when we asked him, we were just kind of like, hey man, like, we need to like take you out to lunch, like come to North Carolina. He has a boat, like we'll show you a great time. And he's like, I don't want you guys to do none of that stuff. I want you guys to pass this on to the next person in line. The next person that's asking you for help, make sure you pay that forward. And I mean, that really, for me, it was, to Evie's point, we were like, how is someone under the sun in this world so kind that's going to give you the advice and the inventory to set you up for a really successful career? And then when you ask him, hey man, like, how can I pay you back? It's like, just pay it forward.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing that he did that.
My best advice is just like, take your time, meet the people, because that has gotten us really far in the first 2 months. It's just like really meeting the folks who are in the industry. They want to give back all that advice and all that wisdom.
Exactly. And I think the whole culture has changed. We were talking about it beforehand. All these Facebook groups, all these YouTube channels. That's one of the reasons why you said you got into this business, because there was so much information out there where a lot of other businesses, they just don't want to share their secrets. But this one, everyone's just sharing, and it's kind of a cool thing.
Well, you're not so afraid jumping in because you have like a support group, I don't know if that makes sense, but if you have questions, you can always ask on Facebook with the groups that we signed up for you, and people are willing to tell you the honest truth about what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Tim sat us down a few times and he's like, cut the BS, man. You guys are, like really like tough love, and like, it's like when you hear from someone who's done it so long and he's kind of exposing your mistakes and how to not approach a situation, that's like invaluable information because you don't have to make that same mistake again, right? Or twice. So it's been great.
Exactly. We got an interesting question here. How do you respectfully engage with a competitor to develop that mentor relationship? Well, I wouldn't say your competitors so much. I mean, when my competitors come over, I'm like, yo, have you seen this? Have you seen this this jackhammer? This will save you time. Oh, you see this dolly? Yeah. Or look at the stake puller. I see you guys always take, like, I try to tell them all everything that I know, and they all seem to be like, like weirded out by it or whatever. I don't know if they think I'm like talking down to them or whatever, but I think most of your competitors aren't going to really be the mentor. You got to kind of find someone in the Facebook group or YouTube or someone not really like next door, but you still want to respectfully engage with them. Like, go visit them, bring them a coffee and say, hey, I'm a rental company and I'm going to need you in the future. And I hope that you'll know that if you need something from me, you can get it from me. I would suggest, like, as you're starting out, to go make those connections, because there's no reason why you want to turn down a $5,000 wedding because you don't have 50 chairs. They need 200 and you got 150. You're not going to turn it down because you don't have 50. You're going to need those dudes. And they're going to do the same thing too. They got a $5,000 wedding and they're missing a few things. They're going to come to you and say, hey, do you have these things? So the sooner you can go bring them a coffee and get with them and say to them, hey, listen, I'll give you a 10% discount when you rent things from me. Would you be willing to do the same? That's usually the industry standard, is you get a 10% discount. Like, you don't make money on it, but you're not really losing money, but you're not losing the job.
Correct. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm not so good at doing that, so that's something that I'm gonna have to get better at. No.
It comes with time. Like, a lot of things are scary. Like, the first time you're gonna do it, you're like, I don't know how to do that, and then like you have to do it, and then you have to do it again, and then again, and then you just do it. Then it's just second nature.
I just hope they're open, like that our competitors are open to that, because we certainly are. We could have gone into the market and say, let's do everything half off. Let's say that we're better. Let's go in and we don't want to make enemies with them. We haven't reached out, but that's a good idea. Just maybe some coffee and say, hey, we'll give you a great discount to see if we could soften that relationship.
Well, it's not really a great discount. It's just don't give them a great discount. Just give them the 10% normal. But like you said earlier, you're not going to like undercut them. You might undercut them by some, but just, just let them know, like, we're not coming in to be weekend warriors. We're not coming in to try to steal all your business. We're going to be priced generally the same as you. Some things might be more expensive. Some things might be less, but we're not going to like undercut you like crazy. Right. When's my next interview? It's next week with Mike from Aztec Tents. He's my representative. He comes, visits me, buys me lunch, talks about tents and stuff, and I buy tents from them. So we're just going to talk all about Aztec Tents. Let's see what we got. Is it better to know who your competitor, to know who is your competitor also? If you don't, you may not get options to buy them out or buy their inventory. He's saying it's way better. Yeah, dudes, you may become freaking millionaires, and these guys might want to leave, and then you can buy them out. So be friends with them, because they'll come to you instead of some random person.
I think it already happened here once. I think a company, right, was trying to start up, and then the company that's been established for a while said, "We'll buy you out," kind of thing. So. Right,
exactly.
One thing that I want to share that's different that we want to do in long-term goal is that we're purchasing. Well, we have purchased 11 acres in Wilmington, North Carolina. So what we want to do with that is to eventually also become a venue. And we got a crazy deal on the land. It's in the city. So, of course, it's wooded. It's a jungle. We got to clear it out. There's no water. There's no electricity, but we have the land, right? And if you own the dirt, sometimes you own the deal. So hopefully for us, that's like our long-term goal, is to be able to have a little warehouse over there, and then to have an area that could become a venue.
Right. Well, in the meantime, before you get the venue going up, you could clear enough land to put a tent up. And then, because you're going to get phone calls, you're going to get people saying, hey, I don't have room in my backyard. Do you know a park or something or whatever? And you never want to do a park. Take that advice. I don't know if anyone told you that yet. You never want to set up a wedding at a park.
Right. Yeah, that makes, yeah, I could think of a lot of reasons why not.
Well, basically because they want you in that day and out that night. Like my second tent ever was a park, and it sucked. You can do a ceremony at a park, you go in, make a few $100s on the weekend on a Saturday for a few hours worth of work, but don't do a full-on wedding there. It's a nightmare. It sucks. But anyways, so then you can point them to your land and be like, hey, you can rent the land for $800 and then rent all the equipment from us as well. And then obviously you gotta have parking or whatever, and then rent a generator if you don't own one, and upcharge like crazy on the generator. Like I rent the generator for I think $300, but I rent it back out for $1,500. So I mean, but anyways, back to the land. You got this land. Before you build a place, you could offer it up as somewhere people could rent, or you could get a semi-permanent tent and have it up and have that as your venue to begin with.
So you don't own generators? You just rent them?
We own generators for our restroom trailers, but the big ones, they're called like Whisper Watt. It's a big towable behind generator. They're like $25,000 to buy for a 20,000 kilowatt or I don't know, whatever unit. And that's a lot of money, and not everyone gets them every single week. So literally right around the corner from me, I can see them from my warehouse. They only do tool rentals and equipment rentals, and they have tow behind Whisper Watt generators for $150 a day. So I pay the $300 for the 2 days. Sometimes we'll bring it there. Sometimes I'll deliver it. And then I just charge $1,500 for it and just make a whole boatload of money off of it.
Wow.
To answer someone's question one another time. So every Tuesday at 9:30 is Tuesday Tent Talk, unless I didn't get a guest, which a lot of times I don't think about getting a guest until Tuesday a few hours beforehand, which is you guys. I literally texted you like 2-3 hours before. I'm like, you want to come on? And you're like, yeah. I saw. All right, so you guys are new. Let's do just. Do you have any sort of questions for the community? Like, oh, you have a notebook there.
So being the inventory guy, we're looking at our new lights, and I told Chris, I was like, well, how do you do with, I don't know, with people that have nice fancy lights? We have a DJ that's going to rent them out. He wants 4. So we're going to rent them out. But do you take like pictures of them before you rent them out? And then if they come broken, like, then you can be like, well, you broke it because it was working. And also, do you have like a deposit on stuff like that? Or how would you deal with anything like that? Because once you charge him on, you tell him it's $100 and then he returns it's broken. You didn't tell him it was a deposit or anything like that, then you're kind of screwed, right?
Yeah, you'd be screwed. So it's going to be in the contract. I would say have something that they initial next to that specific thing about broken items that they're responsible for it. There is an option of throwing a damage waiver on every single item that you rent out. I know there was some controversy last week, and Brian made a video. Brian from Rental Innovations made a video too. He would put a damage waiver on every single item. I put a damage waiver on things that only get broken. But it does make sense in a way. Like you could put your damage waiver in your tent. Your tent's $1,000. You could get $100, and if a tree falls on it, it's covered. It's not always going to cover it, but I mean, the $100 is not going to cover your tent, is what I'm trying to say. But the last customer paid $100 damage waiver. Nothing happened, and most of your things are never going to get broken. So you've got this whole damage waiver fund, which you could make a separate account for, building up. And a good customer like a DJ who is renting from you a bunch of times, you could just be like, all right, you broke a light. I'm not going to piss you off by like charging you. I have this fund of this damage waiver stuff to replace it with. So you could do it that way, or you could have them sign a thing that says, we break it, we buy it back. Plus you got to think about, it's not just buying it back, it's loss of use as well. You may have had that rented out for next weekend. Now you can't use it. Now you got to refund someone some money, or maybe more than, maybe next weekend you got 4 lights out as well, but now you can only send 4. So now you got to refund half the order to the guy and give him 3 lights for the price of 2 or whatever. So it's not just replacement costs, it's loss of use. So you want to build in like 20%, 30% on top of that in your contract as well.
Okay. Do you do it? Or do you just kind of, you just mentioned things don't break that often, so you just kind of trust your customer?
So I don't do it on tents, tables, chairs, dance floor. I only do it on dinnerware and some other things that I know are most likely going to break. And I don't want to come back at a customer and be like, yo, it's $30 for 3 plates. Excuse me, they paid the damage waiver. So I only do it on that, but people aren't going to get mad if you do it on the whole thing.
Is damage waiver refundable or no?
It's not refundable. You can do. I would put them under 2 different things. Like I don't know how to answer this. You can do a refundable damage waiver, but it's just like going to be a whole lot more work. It's basic. Don't ever tell anyone it's insurance. But the way to think about it, like in an analogy, is it's kind of like an insurance. You pay for your house insurance and your house didn't burn down. You don't get a refund for it.
Okay.
It's just you got it just in case. It's not refundable.
So can they decline the damage waiver, or did you just force them to pay the damage waiver?
Oh, they can decline it. And if they decline it, you have 2 routes. You can just be like, all right, you decline it. That's fine. You're going to pay for everything. Then you can also say, well, if you decline it, then you have to add us to your insurance policy as an additional insured. And that way, if anything breaks, their insurance is going to pay for it first before it comes to your insurance. But most customers aren't going to want to go through all that. They're not going to want to contact State Farm or whatever. If you're doing it with a business customer, it's easy. They just contact their rep and say, hey, we need to add these people, and you get added. But private customers probably just like, all right, never mind. We'll just take the $200 damage waiver.
Okay, got it.
And then the other 2 things for me is going to be, I guess weather is one, and I guess the scenarios can be really different. But if you had already set up the thing and it's supposed to be gorgeous, we live on the coast, so when the wind picks up, it picks up. And I mean, how do you usually break the news to the bride and groom, I guess, saying, look, it's going to be really bad weather? Or how does that go when it's like unexpected, really bad weather?
Right. I fortunately have not had to deal with that. I came after a wedding when Hurricane Sandy took down a tent, but I never had to actually cancel on them. But people will either do a rain date, or they'll be like, we can't do anything for you. Here's your money back. It's kind of like one of the ethical things. Like,
Definitely.
It wasn't your fault. It wasn't our fault. You just can't do it. But I think a rain date one is better. Like, you just give them like a ridiculous timeline. You could go like 6 months or whatever, or a year. But like for COVID, I just said like indefinite. Like, you had to cancel your wedding because of COVID. You don't get a refund back. But an indefinite amount of time, this amount of money that you paid can go towards another event. And I also went a step further, and I said, if you have a family member or friend who wants to use your deposit that you did, just call us first. Let us know that they'll be calling, and we'll put it forward towards them as well, which I only did because of COVID. But in general, I didn't do that before, but I will. Also, you can push people to get wedding insurance if it's a or event insurance. For like $150, they can cover the entire event in case something happens, in case the road floods and the building floods at their event venue, or in case you can't put up a tent, or in case the guy never shows up with food or whatever. For $150, they can cover the entire event and get all their money back.
Perfect.
Event insurance, good one.
And then the other one that I have is, do you ever worry or deal with any, especially for weddings and events like that, a lot of the family members that, people hold dear are going to be grandma, grandpa. Do y'all ever have like, I don't know, I've gone to a couple weddings where we've had to pick up grandma from her wheelchair, carry her, and like somebody's dragging her chair because they can't get through. Have you ever like I guess, help with that scenario and like, well, we're gonna help this out a little bit, or have you ever faced anything like that?
No, so I'm never on site. For
Okay.
big wedding, we're setting up Wednesday, Thursday ahead of time. I've been paid to be on site a few times, but it was mostly to, the lights went out. I don't know why they wanted me on site. I never did anything. Nothing ever happened, but they wanted me on site. But basically, I could see like maybe opening sidewalls or maybe moving a table. But yeah, if I was on site and some grandma needed some help, I would help. But it's not like I'm offering it up. Like, you guys are not you're not the event staff.
Correct.
The people providing the equipment. Like, that would be like, if they really knew someone needed help, like, they would probably need to hire someone to do that. You could offer the service, but I don't think it would be a smart idea dealing with grandma if you dropped her. Then it's on you.
Yeah.
If you do offer the service, I would offer it in a completely different LLC.
Got you. I guess this was more for like us. For me, like I've dealt with a lot of events within the soccer community, and we always get a lot of special needs kids that are brothers or sisters, and it's so weird because they always get left out. They never get to do anything. They're just sitting around. So I didn't know, with us going into like the bouncers and kind of like all that stuff, like we could provide something for them. And the worry with that is, are we going to be liable if something happens if we did provide something,
Right. Okay. So I was coming at it from like the wedding
side.
Yeah. But because you guys got all these interactives and stuff, and you're
somebody
corporate events
listening has, any input on that.
Yeah. Anyone who was listening has any advice on that, leave it in the comments, and you guys can check in a few days. Also, obviously, since Tim is in this and knows a lot about it, I'd probably reach out to him and ask him. Because you're right, you guys are probably going to be there at your big interactive corporate events.
Correct.
What do you do? How do you accommodate these things? Also, don't forget, just because you're being nice and accommodating for it, it's still costing you time and money and equipment. If you got to have special equipment, make sure you charge for it. It's not mean. It's just part of the service.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you guys bought any lottery tickets lately?
I did. My mom forced me to buy one. He's like, "You're so lucky, you get one." I was like, I'd never do it. So I go in there and like a dummy, I'm like, "Can I get two tickets?" And they're like, "Oh, here." So I'm trying to pay with my credit card, with my debit or credit card. They're like, "Everything's cash down here." Like,
right.
Buy me. I was like, they got me. I had to go to the ATM that was right there, pull some money out and buy them. But
why the question? Why the question though?
Well, I was thinking about it earlier because you guys have been lucky you've been in this for 4 months. You got a bunch of stuff in auction. You met a bunch of people. You got some free stuff. Like, you guys haven't even you said you've done some rentals, but you guys are going to be set up for like really insane like growth and income, and yet it just seems all very lucky.
Well, I'll buy a couple more, no, just in case.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing, man. It's been a long time coming. We've known each other for a long time, and I think we were in the right place at the right time. Like, a lot of people in the event industry, they're like closing down their doors, and we're like coming in like, yeah, when this pandemic is over, like, we will be there to serve your party needs, no doubt. And we've been able to get a lot of items on the auctions. We bought 50 tables, and I think we paid, it was like very nice rectangular, banquet tables, 8 by 2.5s. Paid $400 for 50 tables, and kind of really, really great deal. So
yeah, that's crazy. We got a funny comment. Will my tent blow away if it's windy? If it's really windy, it might, but that's why you got to use stake bars and the correct ratchets and everything, and it most likely won't.
I did get an advice they don't let you, I found out, they don't let you put tents on beach because of that. There's no amount of stakes that are going to hold the tent down.
No.
FYI.
Stay away from it. Now, you could do, I have heard of people, they dig really far down and they do a bunch of crazy stuff to do a pole tent, or you could do a frame tent with cement, but obviously you're going to need to rent some sort of skid steer or something to get that cement out on there, because you can't just roll it out. I'd say just stay. How far away from the beach are you guys?
We're like 15 minutes, but literally at contact, Riceville Beach here won't allow you
They won't
at all. So we're also thinking about doing it's pretty easy to do the weddings at the beach. It's chairs. You have a stadium up front and then like a little runway and then a little, umbrellas and whatever not. So we're also thinking about getting into that later on, but that's pretty much like the classical beach wedding over here.
Just a stage, like a wood stage that pieces together.
Yeah, I had a guy on the channel who only does that down in Florida. He only does beach weddings.
Oh.
But he takes it a step further. He organizes like the whole person's event to go back to the event venue because people are going to his city. I think it was Miami, from like, different parts of the country, and they never visit where he is. So he organizes, you're renting this stuff from me for your beach wedding. And then we got you your venue and this and that. A destination wedding, that's what they're called. But I don't think you guys need to get into that. But definitely the beach wedding is a big thing. And obviously it's like parks around me. Like you go there Saturday morning, set it up, wait around for a few hours, go swimming, and then tear it all down. Or you can just hire some dude to do that and make, he's obviously going to pay him $80 and you're going to make another 120.
Yeah.
Or not 100, like $220 or $300 on top of that.
Not a bad gig, yeah. I've officiated weddings before, and I can do it bilingual too, so just for the grandma that only speaks Spanish or quien sea, so you hire me as well.
There you go. I mean, you guys. So you DJ'd, right?
Yeah.
So you can build this business to be all sorts of part of the pie. You got the interactives, you got the tents and tables and chairs. You're gonna do the beach wedding, and now you can ceremony it.
Yeah. And we have 11 acres, man, and that's gonna shift a lot of things in the future once we start making money. We hope.
Yeah. Well, like I said, even before you start making money, you can still offer it as a spot for people to, and then just take the money that you make from that and don't put it back into the bank account. Just put it into a separate bank account and be like, this is what the money we're going to use to build our venue.
Somebody said, what kind of insurance do we have for the bouncers?
Yeah, we added that to the policy. We are AAA offers that. So I couldn't really tell you exactly what it is, but it's definitely different from tents and chairs and tables.
Right.
Which just they add some costs, and then we have interactive bouncers. So like one of our bouncers has a bungee cord that you could rappel with a harness through rock climbing, and then you add water. Like there's a lot more liability. One thing that we heard that's really interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
That is kind of like, some of the things that we learned along the way. It's like you could set up a management company. This could be terrible advice, but I think it's brilliant to basically handle the operations for your industry so that if something terrible happens, which we hope it never happens, your management company is the one that gets sued and that goes under. And then therefore you still have protection by having the management company as your front.
Right. I mean, that's everyone, not everyone, but I mean, like so many big corporations and things do that. They don't own everything under one thing.
Correct.
I think it's a smart idea. This person has a very good comment. Bilingual helps a lot with advertising also. So whatever advertising you do, I would also do it. I don't know. Are there a lot of Spanish speakers in your area?
Yeah, a ton. We have a long history here in North Carolina from quite an influx that we're getting. And by the way, we build our website first in Spanish and then English. That's my first language anyway. I speak much better Spanish than English. So yeah, we're gonna have a bilingual website, and my brain first thinks in Spanish and then I translate from there.
Really interesting. What are you dreaming?
Every post that we have on our social media, which is Perfect Touch Rental, it would have English at the top and then Spanish at the bottom, and then we also have the captions to describe the image, accessibility content as well.
Nice. What are you dreaming?
What do I dream in? Lately, I have dreams that my Spanish is really broken, and I have my family from Venezuela cursing me out because I'm not speaking Spanish correctly. So I don't know. It's weird.
And I'm Mexican, so his Spanish is different than my Spanish. So it's not even, yeah, they have there's a lot of differences to stuff,
Right. Yeah, I was taking Spanish on one of those apps, and it was Spanish or Mexican Spanish. and I picked regular Spanish. I figured I'll go back to Mexican Spanish afterwards. Let's see. Hey, will you interview Corny Carney? Yeah, I'll ask him. I'm sure he'll say yes. But all right, guys, I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to do good, and I think you should be on in the winter of next year. See how your first season went, which I think is going to be good.
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to use that as my thing for likes. Hey, if you guys want them to be on next winter, leave a like on this video, and we'll see if they want to come on next year. Yeah, I'm no good at that stuff.
But comment. You should put Madeline's comment in your
This is my girlfriend. She watches and supports. I want to go to Venezuela. We're not going to go to Venezuela for a while until they get their stuff figured out.
Yeah. And it's not Minnesota, because a lot of people are like, Minnesota, I've been there. No, Venezuela, and they always hear Minnesota. So anyway.
Do they? It was funny before Venezuela. I don't know if you guys know Venezuela, like how inflation has went crazy. Before that, I was reading an article on how Venezuela was one of the best places an American could go retire because their money could go the furthest. And then, all that happened.
I remember coming here to the United States and my Bolivar from Venezuela being stronger than the dollar. I remember being 8 and looking at stuff on the shelf and saying, wow, that's really cheap. Let me get 2. It's an actual saying. Está barato, dame dos. I remember those times, and now inflation is like 300% a year. So yeah, we went from top to bottom really fast.
Yeah, it'll get back.
We'll do that to you.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. Maybe they'll go all crypto and then just get the government out of there. But all right, guys, thank you. And obviously I'll still keep talking to you guys, and then we'll follow up in next winter and see how you did. I think I'm gonna be really interested in how you guys do.
We're gonna grind, man. We're hungry for it. So I can't wait to tell you where we're at, or maybe we'll invite you to Bahamas and we can go from there.
Or Dubai.
Oh, Dubai.
That's what your girlfriend said.
Yeah, she said Dubai. I'm kind of scared of Dubai. She's gonna have to wear face coverings and stuff. I actually think that city doesn't require you to. But all right. Anyways, guys, we just talked shit about Dubai, but I love Dubai. I'll go there.
That was you.
I did. All right, guys. Thank you. And like I said, I'll keep talking to you, and then we'll see you hopefully next year.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.